Welcome back to the channel, guys, and behind me I've got a really nice review for you for the brand new Honda Civic. And what we're going to do today, Ollie, you don't look very cool there.
I look cool. I'm wearing my shades because this is a cool car. Now, I've had this car for quite a while now. I've tested everything that you can test with the Honda Civic, and you know what? I'm bringing you today everything that I have found, and you can only get it in this hybrid form at the moment. So I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and everything in between. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's take out this Honda Civic hybrid for a little bit of a drive then. Now, I am on a very bumpy gravel road, and I thought it'd be really good to see how the suspension copes with this, because since I've had this car, I would say it's very smooth. It's slightly on the firm side, but the balance is just really well put together, if that's even a thing. I just love the balance, and only when you hit an extra deep pothole, you feel it on your bottom. You feel it or you feel it, or you stop laughing. But all the other potholes, honestly, are a breeze. It soaks up those lumps and bumps really, really well. And these are quite vicious and harsh, these potholes here. And I'm going pretty slow, but you know what? The Honda Civic is taking it with ease. And I would say that the suspension and how it's damped is one of the best things about this car. I want to talk to you about some stats of the Honda Civic then. So we've got 184 brake horsepower. It's a 2-litre petrol engine, which is decent because in some hybrids they have a little bit of a measly 1.3 or a lower one, don't they? So we've got a 2-litre woof petrol engine, and it does sound really good later in sport mode. It's augmented, but I like that. Anyway, Honda say this can do 0 to 62 in 8.1 seconds. Now, with the research I've done and putting this to the test really, and just me doing a bit of a blast, it feels a lot quicker than that. And some people have said they can get 6.8 seconds, which is quick. And this car does feel quick, pulls out really well, and because of the electric element, pulls out really well in junctions. Overtaking at mid speeds is good too. It's got a 1.05 kilowatt hour battery, and it tops up really quick. You actually have a gauge of your battery level on the left on your digital cluster here, and all the time it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, so it goes down, because it's constantly. And I've actually got this up here, the energy flow, which is great. You can see. I want to talk to you about MPG efficiency, because it's one of the huge things that I love about this car. And I've watched a lot of other videos and done a lot of research, and as we mentioned earlier, or if we haven't played it to you yet, that Rory Reid said that he got 80 miles to the gallon, right? Or he saw it at least, because he's got a bit of a light foot. Now, I've had it a while, and I've got to reset it. I always reset right at the beginning of every car. 45.2 mpg. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've been giving it a bit of a test in sport mode and blasting it a bit, because it is fun to drive. Honda say to a full tank, you're getting 521 miles, which is great. And look, I've got 239 miles left there with my fuel gauge here. So I do feel like you're getting a lot of miles value-wise with this car, and I haven't felt like, oh, I need to go and top it up since it's been dropped off, and I've been using it loads. So I really love that element. I'll have another chat later after we finish our filming day what my MPG is at, but at the moment it's 45.2 mpg. Let me know what you think about that.
Let's get out of this car and have a little look around the outside, because when Ollie drove up to my house in this car, I was actually quite surprised on, like, it looks good on the looks, because I actually do quite like it. It's very sort of quite sporty at the front here. I think the worst part is at the back, so we'll leave that till last. But what did you think when they dropped it off, Ollie?
This is my favourite. Back up, look at the side. I love this rear quadrant. I really like these side skirts, how they flare out here. You've got these creases, and the back just looks insane. The only thing that annoys me is this is the advanced trim, which is the top trim level, 39k. The red is 975 option. Get rid of this chrome. Get rid of this chrome. You've got lovely privacy glass here. Beautiful 18-inch. These rims are awesome, right? And
the wheels look nice.
There's not much of a sidewall, and this car's still pretty comfy. So I know they're not mega low pro, but still, and they've got Michelin Pilot Force.
The front, because I feel like you're not sure about the front, are you?
No, I mean, it's really hard with the front. This just reminds me a bit of like a cat's nose, how it comes over and then it kind of,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, there's just something about the front, I'm not sure. I really love the 10th gen. This is obviously generation 11 now, but I love the generation before. It was a little bit more bonkers. This one seems a little bit more smoother and they've like sleeker.
I don't know, I like the front. I feel like it's sort of like a saloon shape. It's not your standard hatchback shape, which is quite nice in a way, because it means you get more like room in the back. So
does anybody like the back? Show them the back.
I'll show you the back. Does anyone like the back? Silence.
I like the diffuser. I think the problem here is the light design.
No one likes the back. I mean, just look at it. It's just, I don't know.
It seems like it should be a good back, because this is really lovely, like really flush and sleek, and you know, really
like
crisp.
the back window's nice, but I feel like the lights let it down.
I think the light design is,
and I feel like it could be better.
Yeah, I don't. There's something about the back. Maybe just don't ever look at the back.
Okay, moving on.
Reverse it in.
But I'll tell you what, just let us know what you think about the car in the comments below, because there are opinions and, you know, facts.
Let's talk about trim levels with the Civic Hybrid 3. Elegant, sport and advance. Obviously, sometimes when you get a press car, they give you the top trim level, which this is. This is the advance. You've got the pano roof, the faux leather, the 12 speakers. You do not need this trim level. This is 39k. The cheapest one starts at 35k. Now, as standard, you get front, rear sensors and a camera as standard. Heated seats as standard as well. So really, for me, I'd lose the pano roof and I'd go for, you know, the elegant. If you wanted to go up to the sport and get the wireless phone charger, or actually I think you might even get a wireless phone charger on the elegance, you know, but you still get a lot of standard options. The only thing I think you do get on the lower trim is the digital cluster. Just goes down to that little small digital cluster in the middle and you get analog dials. But again, you could probably live without it. But they're the trim levels. That's what I think about them. I think you should probably check out the Elegant and save yourself a bit of money. One thing I want to mention actually is the digital cluster display. When you have the adaptive cruise control on, which is really easy to operate, it's literally on your multifunctional steering wheel, a little rocker switch, you flick it up, set, I'm away, and you've got a lane follow assist and you can set your distance as well. It works just like every other adaptive cruise control really, but I haven't had any issues with it. And what I really love is the radar, like the scanner. It's a bit Tesla-esque, but it's seeing the car in front, it sees other cars, and when you're on the motorway as well, keeps you in those lanes. I better stop here, let this family come past. Look at me, I'm a hero, genuine hero, you're welcome. And then obviously when I hit the brake, the adaptive cruise control stops. Yeah, you're very welcome, that's okay. Car Chat TV, get up, thanks again. Anyway, really good adaptive cruise control, and the radar system, the display on the digital cluster, I just think works really well and it's really crisp. Let's talk about the boot space with the Honda Civic, because I've actually found it to be plentiful. 410 litres of boot space. You get this really cool, robust and durable rubber mat here, so if you spill any liquids, you can take it out and just bosh it on the floor. Fits my golf clubs perfectly. It's a 60-40 split with the rear seats. You can put that down and get even more space. And look at the parcel shelf. Whee! Look, comes across, locks in there. Pretty functional, works a charm. And this boot is bigger than most of its rivals. What do you guys think of the boot space?
Let's do a bit of chat on the interior of this car, because let's get in, because it's an interesting one. And what should we start with?
Right, let's turn it on first to make sure we get a bit of air. But first thing you're going to notice is, and actually me and Adam haven't spoken about the interior yet because we wanted to save it so you get real first-hand opinions. Now, what do you think about this grate?
Because our opinions matter, obviously.
This reminds me, you know when we had the Audi R8, the back of the Audi R8 reminds me of that mesh hexagon, kind of like grille.
Sure. I do like this though, this is quite nice.
It's different, isn't it?
It is different. So, and this stuff is nice. Three knobs to play with.
Yeah, we love a good knob gang.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna be brutally honest here. Everything is functional and it works, and it feels that everything is durable. I wouldn't say it feels premium or plush in terms of some of the materials they've used, but it does work.
It does work, and I feel like everything is quite well put together. Like it just feels pretty solid. Like even just small things like when you get into the car, the door shutting sounds quality.
You love that sound, don't you?
It sounds quality because sometimes, I mean, you know what it's like. You get a really tinny car, and you don't want to open or close the door because it just sounds rubbish.
No, I think what they've done here is good. It's pretty. It is what it is. It's simple. I mean, this one is in.
Let's have a look down here. Then.
This one's the Advance, so it's 40k.
There's a little bit of space, but there's not. I wouldn't say there was.
You can put that there or there, like yeah, gives you options.
Yeah.
Well, I want it there though.
There's not loads of space in here, but I mean, this material's okay.
And it does get, obviously, it's a bit scratchy.
Just scratch that. We've got a wireless charger here, if you're interested.
Yeah, that comes on the...
with a free microphone.
So you can turn it off as well, which is handy, because sometimes they don't...
Is quite handy.
Yeah, some people don't
want it.
You know, don't want it on.
What I'm not 100% sure on, Oliver,
go on,
is this display here. I'm not... I think it's a bit weak.
So, I would say it's not the best in terms of you get in tech. If you've got a touch screen, but then they're also giving you some buttons as well, to me that screams a bit cheap. Like, why is it all touch screen? Yeah, but then you've got buttons here.
Right. How responsive is it though?
It's been okay. I mean,
it's all right. There's not too much lag. It's not like, I mean, the last car we were in was a Land Rover, and that had a bit more lag, and that's a much higher priced car. So yeah, it just looks a little bit naff. You've
got these little flicker rocker switches here to change tracks. You've got that's pretty handy. I forget that's there, the volume audio, when you just want to get it down. So you've got that little rotary dial there.
This is alright, this material.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, this screen could be improved.
I mean, it's stuck on.
That wobbles quite a lot.
But you know what? Honda are going against it. You know, all the brands now, they're going, right, digital display, joined, integrated into the infotainment, which works and is very clean and crisp. They're just going, nah, this is the top trim. You do get a bigger digital cluster here than the lower levels.
Let me show you the digital cluster. I mean, it looks alright.
Yeah.
It looks alright. It looks nothing groundbreaking, is it?
I normally, on this, I keep it on the power flow because I think that's the most futuristic thing. When it's not on that, this looks really dated. Like, to me, that just looks a little bit, you know, you've got the primary colours that you go when you go to kindergarten or preschool or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just a bit dated, like even the icons here. But the power flow meter's cool, tells you how many miles you got left.
Let's look at the sunroof quick, because I've just opened it to show you. But I mean, it lets in quite a lot of light, but it does open a bit, which is quite nice because you can, I don't know, stick your head out there maybe.
And you only really get that again on the top trim level, the Advance, which we'll talk to you a bit later about what trim level I think is the best one to go for. Spoiler alert, it's not this one. And this is quite, I actually quite like this, even though it's like just kind of stuck on. It's just on the grey.
And this is how you move your fans around, which is alright. So yeah, overall, what's your summary?
But you know, I would say functional. Everything is functional. Doesn't feel like the best quality, but it's gonna do the job, and that's what I would say with this interior. What you have, everything is functional. It's just not above and beyond. Okay, time for a little secret. I always like to give you a bit of a secret to help anyone that has a Honda Civic or thinks about getting one. Because lane keep assist is so annoying. There is a little button down here which has all your driving assist, so you don't have to go through the infotainment, but it's out the way and some people could miss it. So over here on the right, click it once, comes up on your right dial, then use your little rotary selector here and just click it in. Lane keep assist, or they call it road departure mitigation, is now off. It's not going to shudder when I go into the different lanes, and obviously you can turn other bits off there as well. So there you go, that's your secret, super handy. Okay, I want to talk to you about noise, road noise, engine noise. A lot of people when they buy hybrids, they're like, what's it like in terms of noise? Because people care about that stuff. Now, it's not an electric car, so it's not super quiet, but I would say the engine is one of the quietest engines in a hybrid that I've been in. It's such a low hum when you're just cruising along. If you're in sport mode, which I'll put it in now, there we go, we've got Econ, normal and sport. Now listen. That sounds cool, right? Doesn't that sound cool? It's kind of like a higher pitch frequency noise, like whoop, whoop. And I really enjoy the noise that the designers have done there with the sport mode. And if I'm having it in normal and eco, it's a lot quieter. You might hear it a little bit more if you're pulling out of junctions and you're jabbing your foot down. But overall, it's a really peaceful cabin. And it's not windy at all today, so I can't really comment too much about that. Although it was windy last week, but overall, cabin noise is really good. And the wheels that it's got 18-inch rims. And I thought that might affect the ride a bit, but it doesn't. It's actually still really comfortable. And I'm going to go up in a minute. I've got a really good B road because I want to talk about the handling. But just know that if you're worried about the noise levels inside of this Honda Civic, you are going to be pleasantly surprised. Now, I've had a few people in the back of my seats with this Civic over the last few weeks. Now I've got Adam. Adam, talk to me about what it's like back there, comfort levels.
All right, so Ollie's had a few people in here, but my opinion is the only one that matters, right? So I'm going to tell you what it's like in the back. First of all, let's have a look at knee room. So there's a bit, all right? It's not, I feel like if you're a tall person sitting in the back, you might have a little issue with knee room if there's someone sat in front of you. But apart from that, the rear cabin is quite spacious. I would say there's definitely room for 2, if not 3 adults in here. I've just got this down to show you. You've got 2 cup holders here, which is quite nice that you can just put away down there. Down here you've got 2 USBs, which is quite nice to see in the back as well. I would say, I mean, with the pano sunroof, it's letting in quite a bit of light, but headroom, let's check that out. So I'm not the tallest man in the world, but headroom's fairly limited, but that is what it is really. I feel if you're quite tall, you might struggle again. Other than that, there's not much to report. The seats are quite nice and soft. You can't really feel the bumps, which is a good thing. So yeah, you've got a transmission tunnel down there, which is a bit annoying, but apart from that, it's all good in the back.
Okay, let's do a launch. Honda say 8.1 seconds. We know that's a lie. I'm in sport mode, foot on the brake, and jabberoonie! And that's 60. Woo! I like listening to that noise. Let me know in the comments if you like that augmented noise in sport mode. And this is an ECVT transmission, so if you were wondering, you could just hear it whole revving so high. I think that's the loudest I've heard the car. Gonna be honest with you, did feel a little bit lackluster there in parts, and it's felt quicker from other junctions over having this car for a while. So it wasn't the quickest launch you probably may have seen there. Okay, I'm gonna jab this car into sport mode and talk to you about my favorite thing of this Honda Civic Hybrid, and it is the handling. It is so direct and positive and responsive all week. And last week, I've loved jumping in this car, mashing the accelerator and just throwing this car into corners. And honestly, it's been the highlight this month for me, driving this car. It's brilliant. It's light, pretty light in the setting it's got at the moment. In sport, it's a little bit stiffer, but honestly, it's so nominal. And normally when you're just driving, the lightness of the wheel, it just wants you to drive it and throw it into the corner. And I've got these really cool reference points on my bonnet, these creases that just go down onto the edge. And I've really just loved having this great visual right in front of me, slamming it into the corners, and it just reacting every single time. And I've still been really impressed with the suspension as well. So we're on a bit more of a B road now, throwing it through those corners. I've got a guy in front of me, so I slowed up a bit. But it's still so smooth and flat. And I had my dad in with me the other day, just taking him out for a drive, and he goes, bloody hell, Oliver, this thing doesn't move, does it? And I said, no, it's just so well balanced and flat through the corners. That was a bit of a bump, but it handled it well. And I think the driving dynamics over this car is going to be one of the main reasons people buy it. Forget the tech, forget everything else. Handling, suspension, fun factor, and the fact you can do 56.5 mpg that Honda state is just an absolute bonus. Huge tick. Another thing that I need to talk about is when you're buying a £35,000 car and you're looking at camera quality, you expect better than this. Look at that. I mean, that's like a Nokia 4210. I mean, why is it so misty? I get you get front and rear sensors as standard, that's cool, but let's get that bigger. That just, I know there's better camera quality out there. Why can't we have it in this car? So I'll just click through these to show you guys. But I think that, if I'm being honest, does let down the car a little bit. I think you could have a better camera quality than that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
So that's been our episode on the new Honda Civic. And what have we found out today, Oliver?
Well, I think we found out the main thing about the Civic is the driving dynamics. Great fun to drive, good suspension, good handling as well. And you know what? Forget about the tech. This car is all about the way it drives. You'll have to let us know what you think about the car in the comments below.
And if you like the episode, make sure you give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribed, and we'll see you on the next one.
If you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. I've just popped up 2 more videos on your screen that you also may like. If you do watch one, let me know what you think.